Right, testy, 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 wordsy, 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 testy, wordsy, testy, wordsy, test, test, words. Hello, everyone. Let me know if that's showing us live, because I don't know how visible I am. There we go, we're visible. Hello, everyone. Oh, what a surprise. There's a bunch of you here that may have been talking about a different game of football a couple of minutes ago. Hello, welcome in. Let's have a little bit of a chat about the confirmed move to Leeds United of Noah Okafor. Now, I would like to clarify because I know that this makes a lot of people mad. It has not yet been confirmed by the club. I know that people tend to be like, "Oh, it's not the club haven't said it's happening yet, so it's not happening." That's bollocks. There is always going to be a point at which there is a transfer move that is effectively done. Hold on, I'm going to do that for a couple of minutes just because I want to test something. But there is always a case where a move is effectively done, but people aren't willing to admit it yet because that doesn't quite suit the fact that they're like, wow, we're never going to get any deals done. And then it's like, we've got a deal done. No, we've not. Doesn't count. No, shut up. Stop it. Behave. But we have it from the big source, the big Fabrizio Romano, to state that Noah Okafor to Leeds United. Here we go. Deal in place as revealed last night for a fee over 20 million euros to AC Milan. Admittedly, not the biggest of numbers in terms of fee, and I know a lot of people are sort of like, we need a proper big marquee signing. In my opinion, I think this guy has the potential of a marquee signing for less money than a marquee signing. He's very clearly a very good footballer, so I'm not going to be too mad about that. Set to sign a 4-year contract with an option for a further season, which is good. It gives a lot of sort of security around all of that kind of stuff. Ready for a PL move after Daniel Farke's calls. I'm liking that Daniel Farke's conversations here are taking a key role in securing these signings, because it shows that players are buying into the everything of it rather than just sort of going like, yeah, I'll go to Leeds, but I'm not too bothered about who the manager is and all this. No, they're buying into the whole project. 1 second. Sorry about that. But they're buying into the entire project from the manager to the ownership to the fans to everything, which is wonderful to see. I'm a big fan of the fact that we are genuinely putting everything behind this. And ultimately, I feel good about this. Travel for the medical scheduled in the next 24 hours. This is a thing that I haven't yet checked. I'm going to go over to Flight Radar and I'm going to see if I know the time of it. Right, head over to Flight Radar. Head over to Leeds Bradford because it's going to be Leeds Bradford. I know they occasionally use East Leeds, but not very often. And we'll have a look at incomings on private planes. It's not going to be on Kefalonia, which is a NetJets. Not going to be from Birmingham, not going to be from Guernsey, not going to be from Jersey. Tell you what, I don't see one in the next 24 hours, which is interesting. Maybe it's not scheduled yet, I don't know. If someone keeps an eye on that, I might do a flight stream. That'd be quite fun, but completely up to you guys. But yeah, I'm very happy with the links to Noah Okafor. For an idea of the way that the guy plays, he is someone that is happy to pick up the ball and just take on a man. There were a couple of times yesterday where you would see Willie Gnonto receive the ball and say, okay, I'm going to take a little bit of time and see what the options are, and I might try and take you on, I might not try and take you on, I'm not going to make my mind up quite yet. That's not going to be the case with Okafor. Okafor is one of those players that has plenty of confidence in terms of going forward, and is almost certainly going to be one of those players that points us in the right direction for the future, basically. I am not concerned about whether or not Okafor will be someone with the right mindset for Leeds United, because he's played under a lot of pressure. Playing in Serie A at AC Milan, at Napoli, admittedly he didn't get the most minutes there, but those are cauldrons of a stadium. Those are scary places to be. And Okafor dealt with them reasonably well. When it comes to what the Orange Raider has said down below, saying he really hopes that we don't put Noah Okafor at 9, I believe that Noah Okafor is someone who is quite good in the 9. He's a reasonably talented player there. But from what I'm aware, one of the reasons that he wants to move is because he doesn't want to play in the 9. Which is good for us, to be honest. We've got enough number 9s at the moment, in my opinion. If we get another one, fine. I'm not going to be too mad. But, I mean, I'll take it. I've not seen anything on the Uche stuff. The Uche stuff is a weird one because it was a link that popped up forever ago. And I've not really seen us linked since, but it seems like a lot of people have done, which is fascinating. Let's go to the latest. What about Uche's future? The striker's happy at Getafe. No offers have been made despite interest from Wolves. I've not seen anyone actively talking let's sign Uche for quite some time. I don't know how I feel about him. No. No, I'm not leaning Uche-wards, to be honest with you. I think we might send Ramazani out on loan. Maybe. I don't know. Because like in those wide areas we've got plenty of options now. And it's not a bad thing to have options, but we do need to cut down on that squad size a little bit. Because you've got a limitation of 25 registered players. And if you hit the 25, you can't register anybody further. You can unregister people, that's completely fine. But you can't register beyond the 25 unless they are under the age of 21 and have been at the club for 2 years. So we don't have any players that can do that at the minute outside of like Harry Gray, Sam Chambers, that kind of gang. But there's no like senior squad signings that we can consider as you will go on that list of players that fit under the youth requirements, which is a little bit of a shame because it is always good to be able to do so. Let's go to Face rather than to rest of Twitter. Rather than Ferrari talking about Formula 1. On that note, by the way, Ferrari having a hilariously bad season. I'm enjoying that. Yeah, I did see the article below and I was like, okay, this is why we go away now. Negotiations for Eze to Spurs underway. That doesn't really affect us in any way, shape or form because I don't think we're in the fight for El Canoes anymore, which is completely fine. I saw somewhere the signing be number 24. I don't know if that's true. Right, we'll go through it. And we will go through it in excruciating detail and a whiteboard just because that does the job, I think. Zoom in a bit, go to subheadings. Right, let's list them. So I'm going to start with the first 11 from last night, which was... Zoom in a bit more so I've not got the stuff from the last stream. I mean, what last stream? There was no last stream. So you've got Lucas Perry, Bogle, Strauch, Rodon, Goodmanson, Tanaka, Ampadu, Stack, Nonto, James, Piru. Cool, that was the starting 11 from yesterday. So that's us up to 11. I'll do them in lists of 11. So that will sort of maybe make sense, I think. I don't know. On the bench, we had Darlow. I'm going to bring up the entire squad, actually, so I can have a proper look and I don't get any wrong. Right, so Darlow, Aronson. I'm literally just doing it in the order that it says on the thing. Grove, Harrison, Metcher. Longstaff, Byram, Bornout, Ramazani, Calvert-Lewin. In the immediate term, we've got Melier there, but he's going to be on the way out, I believe. I'll do a third list of players that are technically still here but won't be, which is going to have Melier, Greenwood, Bamford, I think JB, I don't know. Is there anyone else I'm missing from that initial list? I know there will be, I can't think of who. Transfer marked Leeds. Joffy's out already. Joffy is currently at Hull. Schmidt is still here, that's right, but I'm going to put Schmidt out on this list. Cairns is another one. Right, is there anyone on this list that I've missed? JB is technically still here, but that doesn't really make a difference. Peru, Calvert-Lewin, Mecha. Crew is already out on loan at Doncaster, I think. So that's it so far. Currently we're at 22. Which, if you consider we've got 3 spaces now, this is assuming that these players leave or aren't registered. Like, you could, if someone is at the club, then that's fine. You just can't register them. They can be at the club and they don't have to take up a spot. Like, a lot of people are saying, yeah, but Johnny Howson's taking up a spot. He's not. I miss Gray. I miss Gray on purpose, because Gray isn't going to be taking up a spot, because Gray and Chambers are under that youth limit, so don't need to be registered, or at least aren't part of the 25. So if we say Okafor is on this list, because Okafor is going to be registered, and then we say fullback. I'm just going to make the entire thing green. And then we say extra slot, because one more extra slot for a signing. As far as Beal, I miss Beal. Thank you, Richie. That's a good point. A good point. Bloody well made. Yeah, thank you. I missed him because I was like, surely he would have been part of the matchday squad. He wasn't. He was suspended. That's why. But thank you for making that point. Yonto's 21. Is that under limit? No. He's a month or two too old, which is a little bit of a shame. He needs to have been born, I think, after the 1st of January 2024 is my theory, but I know he's a little bit aged wrong. Getafe have to sell to register new players, may have to reduce the usual asking price. That's true for most of the La Liga clubs at the moment, though. The vast majority of clubs in La Liga at the minute are having to shift players about. What about Byram? Oh, I forgot Byram. No, Byram's there. So Byram will need to be registered, because although he spent enough time during his youth at the club, that doesn't matter. He's still over the age of 21 now. He's comfortably over the age of 21 now. But that means that effectively he needs registering no matter what. Byram isn't one that we can get away with just saying, it's fine. So by the looks of it, we've got 1 spot left for a player. So if we're being realistic, this is going to be a fullback or a striker. Unless there's any players on this list. Hold on, I'm going to make that a little bit. I don't like the way that that doesn't line up. That's bugging me. Hold on. I'll align it left, so it makes me feel less bad. That'll do. So in theory, I think we'd need to let someone go for a season to open up. Hold on, I'm going to make that like an orange instead, because the yellow doesn't show up. Needs exits past here. So beyond that point, we need players to leave. Because are we all agreed that these players in the red aren't going to be registered? Melier won't be registered, either will Greenwood, Bamford, JB Schmidt. Or if they are registered, then it's going to be temporarily until we do a replacement in the event of Isaac Schmidt. Harrison can't go, nobody wants him, got to be Ramazani. I don't know if it's a case of nobody wants him. I think it genuinely is starting to feel like Farker doesn't have an issue with integrating him back into the squad, which is fine enough. Like, I can see that he wants to work his way back into the good books. I don't have any issues with that. But do we need a cam? I don't know at the moment. I don't think our issue yesterday was chance creation. I think we created plenty of opportunities. We had 21 efforts. But, right, I like your thinking there, Max. So I'm going to move Cairns onto this list. Beal will replace Cairns on this list, because these are the you are registered list. But I think Cairns is sort of a luxury registration. for me. Cairns is one of those that we don't need to register because we've got Rory Mahady. And Rory Mahady can do a fairly damn good job as a third choice goalkeeper. We're not going to have any big issues. So not registering Cairns and just sort of keeping him around as spare parts is kind of fine for me. I've not got any issues with that. It's not red, it's more of a burnt orange in those key. Yeah, I've kept Cairns orange on purpose because he's not one of those don't be registered kind of players. Only 3 on target. Yeah, that's the thing. It's a finishing issue, I think. It's not a creation issue. Because in terms of getting into those dangerous areas, we did that a hell of a lot. We got in the right places a lot of the time. It's just making sure. We need backup full backs. I think backup full back singular would do the job. Just the one. Fullback or striker. Let's be honest. It's going to be a fullback. But in that case, in terms of fullbacks, you've got Gudmundsson, you've got Bogle, you've got Byram. And you've got the spare, which I think is fine. I think that's 4. And I think 4 will absolutely do the job. Need 3 goalkeepers just in case. And Perry and Darlow will do if you have Rory Mahady behind him. Got enough in terms of centre-backs because we've got Strout, we've got Rodon, we've got Bornau, we've got Beale. In the midfield, we've got plenty of options as well. So, Tanaka, Ampadu, Stack, Longstaff, who else is midfielder? Aronson, I'm going to consider a midfielder, but you can play on the wings, Gruev. Those wide areas, I think we've got plenty of options if we add Okafor to the list. Is Justin signing for Leeds or is that deal off? That deal is a little bit of an unknown at the minute. The deal is a big question mark. We don't know. I would quite like it to be a it's done, or I would like it to be a we've signed someone else, because I would like us to get that one sorted relatively sharpish, just in case we agitate any issues. But we should be okay. Jamal Lewis is free and played for Farker before, but I don't know if he will. Jamal Lewis is one of those that I'm a little bit spooked about. Just a fullback backup now, then a top striker job done. Yes, but to get that striker, we would probably need to ditch Cairns. I don't know whether that happens or not. Justin's gone quiet since we went off on Saturday. It has. I think that is mainly because we're trying to work out what the injury actually is. We're trying to get a better idea of it. Because we won't want to sign someone who was just crocked. So it's a case of being a bit careful around that, I feel. Need to nurse our current strikers, then Metro and DCL get injured, we've got a big problem. I don't know. Because you're assuming both get injured at the same time, and even then, it's still Joel Piroux, and we know that Joel Piroux is a pretty damn good striker. I would say he's a pretty damn good striker on his day. He's just a good striker. And behind that, you've got Harry, and I don't think we get that deep into the list. What about Gruev? Do you think he could leave? We have a lot of midfielders. Okay, there would be a potential argument for it, but this is a big but. We saw Ampadu get a knock yesterday. And in terms of your backup for Ampadu, you've got Gruev. Gruev is the other 6. Maybe Stack plays there. Yeah, sure. But we've seen him higher up the pitch, and we've seen him do really, really, really well higher up the pitch. And I think a lot of people underrate Ilya Gruev. And I don't understand why, because he was a significant part of us getting promoted. Has been very consistent, very good. So I've not got any issues with keeping Ilya Gruev around, because he does that depth in midfield quite well. And I think losing out on the qualities that Gruev has would be a bit of a shame. Piroux was very, very good yesterday, yeah. There's an argument that he played a bit of a 10 role with sort of inside forward wingers on the outside of him, which was a good role for him to play in. No one's leaving. Farkas stated this in the press conference. He did also do the never say never-y thing, because it's the transfer window. You never know what bids are going to come in for various players at various points. Gruev's a player on the up, he's young. Yeah, we got to remember, he's not like a 29-year-old grizzled central midfielder. He's early to mid-20s. Do think without a 10, the 9 has a lot of work to do, hard to be a key part of the press and a presence in the box. This is true. But you've got... I think we played more of a 4-1-4-1 yesterday than we did a 4-3-3. and those central midfielders that really afforded themselves the opportunity to push forward were in a very, very nice spot. I was very happy with that. It was quite nice. Jack Harrison was brilliant when he came on, and yes, he did really impress. I think Harrison did pretty fucking well. He wasn't a sort of constant direct threat, but the balls that he was putting in were making them think and were causing them some problems. So I've got absolutely no issues if Jack Harrison is going to be sticking around. I wouldn't mind that in the slightest. I can see one of the wingers potentially going, but Strike being linked with an exit yesterday. He was being linked with an exit by Peter O'Rourke, who is never a very good source, and everyone that ran with the story ran with it off the back of Peter O'Rourke. So I'm going to consider that one not really viable. So at the game last night, and what an atmosphere, loving watching this. Likewise, I'll be honest, the way that we were playing as well was really nice. But I got into that on the stream I did a little bit earlier. And I'm not going to get into that right now because I'm going to bring this stream to a close in a minute because I'm going to ping everybody over to Mr. Wayneman's stream because I've been going for an hour across the space of 2 streams. And you know what? My voice is getting a little bit tired and I've got some bits and bobs to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redirect everyone. I'm going to recommend that everyone prepares a cheese-related pun for when we go over there. So, like, we were really good would be fantastic. And, yeah. And also, don't mention it's a Joe B raid. Everyone does that every time. And it's sort of like, no, we're not doing this. We're just talking about cheese. And also, please pop a like on the stream. I'm currently at 47. And I'm going to do what I can to get that above 50 by the time that the stream is done. Yay. And subscribe if you haven't yet. Yay. Anyway, I'm going to dip. Hope you all enjoyed. And, yeah, brilliant idea. I like it. Like the video indeed. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed. I will see you all later. Toodaloo.